It's Mark Husson's Astrology Hour. Time for you to expect something wonderful.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome. It's Mark Husson. This is Mark Husson's Astrology Hour coming to you live at 8:01 a.m. Pacific Time, 11 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast. How are you, everybody? Thank you for being here. We have people showing up into the studio, which is called the studio, the chat room. It's good to see you guys. Thank you so much. We have Lori here. Happy birthday to Rebecca. Hi, Carolyn. Thanks, Lenny, for being here. Terry's in the house. You guys are so sweet for coming. It is a sweet and cold December morning. Yes, it is December. Can you believe it? It is kind of crazy out. Hopefully you got to see a little bit of the live stream beforehand, but man, it is like coming in. So I hope you're all having a good day. Thanks for showing up to the room. Renee's, I see you here. Hi, Ann. Erica, thanks for an amazing show. Erica, I just love having her shows like on before mine so I can like listen, relax. She does such a good job and she's so gracious. So really love having her here. And you know, the sound is so clear. I was thinking today, we take so much for granted. We are talking to somebody who is in London, live, clear as a bell, like she was next door. And do you remember? I don't know if y'all remember this. A lot of you will. When I was young, it used to cost a fortune to think about going into a long distance phone call. And I remember long distance phone call had to be short and fast. And they were like, it was expensive. I mean, people would freak out about long distance calls. So it's so brilliant that we live in a time when we can get bored with or expect or kind of assume that it all needs to work the way we wanted to yesterday. And then each generation comes like in with a little bit less of that knowledge of what it was like. Like, I know. We get to hear our grandparents saying when I was young, and you know, to them, that wasn't that long ago, right? To us, it was like, that was like in the black and white days, but it definitely changes. And I think that it's good for us. We think about gratitude. I talk a lot about gratitude here, and this is a season where gratitude is going to matter, right? So we think about like what we're grateful for, and we don't include things like hot water unless it's gone, the power unless it's gone and it comes back, then we appreciate it. The internet, unless it's gone, unless it comes back. Airplanes, you sit in a tube and you're flown somewhere. Kind of crazy. I know. It sounds like, you know, to me, I hear myself and I go, that's kind of like old fashioned talk because it is a little bit. But it's also like the kind of thing that matters for us to remember if we need some perspective, right? I just think it's important. So let's say hi to the rest of you. Liz is in the house. Thank you. I'm glad you made it. Hey, Sherry, thanks for being here. And let's see, K-word, blessings. Okay, I know that's Quelly, isn't it? Yes, it is. Hey, Jennifer, thanks for coming. Made it. Sorry, Erica, we'll have to listen to you later, Mark. It's not London. Erica and I are in Cornwall, about 300 miles away. See, that's good to know. That to me, it's London. But you're right. I got to know it's Cornwall. And we'll have to look on a map. We'll have to I'll get to the point where I'll be able to pull up Google Map and come look at it and we'll tour your neighborhood. Thanks, Laura, for being here. And Pamela, thank you. Rabbit, everyone. I know, right? Yes, that's good, Jennifer, to be able to turn on the tap and feel good about what we have in life. It is good. It's good to just remember some of that stuff. It wasn't maybe 2 generations ago where people couldn't step into a hot shower, right? I heard a comedian named Jimmy Carr, I think he is from the UK, talking about it. And it's like nice to hear people bringing a certain sense of, you know, optimism and hope and gratitude in. So we're going to try to do that because there's a lot that's been going on that we need to take a look at. So I'm going to get my screen ready here and we are going to move over to, let's do this. I'm going to get the chat, you guys on the screen in the chat. There we go. And there's our chart. And I'm going to bring it up close. So don't worry. It looks a little far away right now, but I'll bring it up close so we can take a look at some of what's going on. I lost I have to plug in my mouse today, it's usually a wireless mouse, but it's right before you all started, the mouse just stopped working. So I plugged it in, which means I have to lose a monitor to do that. So things are just a little more different than they would normally be. But hang on with me one sec. Oh, Erica is here. There's nothing between me and New York. And there's oh my gosh, there is a hoolie of a storm outside. I may be blown over your ways. Oh my gosh, be safe, Erica. I'm so glad you were able to come into the room and say, hey, it's so good. And I do truly appreciate your show a lot. I hope you guys get to listen to it. So you guys, I wanted to show you a picture of the new moon just because this is what they look like. And as you can see, if you pretend that the earth is in the middle of the room, of the circle, you have the sun on one side, the moon on the other, and we're kind of here looking at the moon and we get to see its full butt, right? That's why it moons us. We get to see the full brightness, and because it's close to the earth, it's its closest time to the earth, it's called a supermoon, we're going to get the effects of it. So it would make sense that we would want to understand a little bit about what 13 degrees of Gemini, see 13 degrees of Gemini, 13 degrees of Sag. That's what the opposition, that's what they are. That's what a new moon is, a full moon is, I apologize, opposite to the sun. Now, here's the thing. This opposition to the sun happens every month. So we have an opposition to the sun that happens in November, in September, in October, every one. So, and in every situation, it's like the sign behind. It's like, so like in November, it was in Scorpio and Taurus, and now it's in Sag and Gemini. And then next month, it'll be in Capricorn and Cancer. And it goes on like that. So each time in the month, we get an opportunity to build a theme. And if you understand new moons, this moon would then come back around to be within the same sign as the sun. So the month usually starts off or ends, whenever the new moon is, with the same sign, the sun and moon being in the same sign. And it introduces in a way that energy to us. The Sagittarian energy now is what's being introduced to us. So I think it's really important that we talk a little bit about what Sagittarian really means. And what are some of the issues that kind of befall us now? What else is going on? And I'm going to bring those things in here too. I got to, let's see. So I have to, where are they? They're back here, I believe. I'm going to get those preferences up and we're going to bring in the planets. See, when I lost that other monitor, there they are. Everything sort of fell apart. So now here, we're going to get it. I'm going to bring on Venus. Well, first of all, let's bring Mercury in because everybody celebrated that Mercury retrograde. I know you did. You can tell me the truth. You all love Mercury when it's direct. I don't mind Mercury when it's retrograde or direct. I love Mercury. It can be very mischievous, and I know that's some of what we deal with is that mischievousness of Mercury. But here it is. Mercury is at 22 Scorpio, and it is starting to go forward. It started on Saturday. It's slowly getting there, but I will show you on the wheel just how, let's see, tomorrow, yeah, it already changes tomorrow at the 23. So it's going to soon join us in Sagittarius. We want to make sure that's happening. And I will check the room for your comments, you guys. Yes, and the other thing that happened, let's bring Venus on. Terry, you're right, and welcome to the room again, all of you that are showing up. Venus is now in Sag. It went in this weekend, and so we're seeing it's already, this is what, the 4th, so we're already at the full moon. So Venus went in today. There it is, it's 1 degree, right? And so we're now experiencing the sun, the Venus, and then one more, I think we got to bring Mars on here. So I'm bringing Mars onto the screen. There it is. So we got these three coming in, landing hard in Sag. So that's the Sun, Venus, and Mars. Now, so it makes a lot of sense that we would talk a little bit about what's happening with Sagittarian energy because now the water signs are being kind of replaced, even though I have news for you, water signs. But here's the moon in Aries. That's a fire sign, connected to Mars and Sag, connected to the Sun and Sag, connected to Venus and Sag. So we're like getting this fire energy going. So let's talk a little bit about the hope of Sag and what Sag brings. So when we're in the November time period and the sun is in Halloween, think about Halloween, and we think about the sun being in the sign of Scorpio, what happens is we go deep, we get internal. I don't say that Scorpio necessarily addresses fear, because Scorpio looks for everything. It looks for the good and the bad, but it is one of those, it's like a creature to me that there are the predator creatures and there are the prey creatures. Scorpio feels like the prey creature, the one that's always Prey, right? The one that's always looking for, are you coming at me? Are you coming at me? Those creatures and like little bunnies, right? And so in the November, October time, we're kind of doing that. We get our radar out. We look for what's happening. We see the month is coming in for the holiday kill, right? Pretty fast. And so we get into our Scorpio zone, and the moon sort of reinforces that, because the moon will join the sun in Scorpio, and then it'll go into Taurus, the opposite for the full moon. And then we learn how to ground it in a little bit. We learn how to make peace with it. Well, not all signs start off with, it's not always easy to jump into a new sign. Here comes Sagittarian. And so the Sagittarius is the archer, as you know. We call it the Chiron, or the centaur, half horse, half human, half god. And the centaur is ready to go. They were like the mean guys. In you read any of the mythology, the centaurs were tough. Right? They ran in packs, and they wouldn't put up with anything. They were kind of the hoodlums. But you had that one Chiron that was like the good centaur that sort of fell on Hercules' arrow and hurt himself. And now we have the wounded healer, blah, blah, blah. But the idea is their quest was very much like, okay, we're not just looking for who's going to get us. We're now moving. We're out in the world. We're going to go on the quest. We've got to take energy out into the world. This is what's brewing inside of every one of us right now. It's that feeling of, okay, life is an adventure. Now, ironically, it's coming at a time when we're losing light and we're wanting to kind of pull in. So what is that? What is that wrestling we do? Well, what happened? What does Sag have? What does Sag have that its opposite sign Gemini doesn't? It's an element of fire. Sag has inspiration. Sag is hope. Sag is the beauty and the inspiration of the season. It's the fire that we need. It's this thing that says there's magic out there. And no one does it like Sagittarians. Sagittarians have this amazing mythology. It makes them wonderful friends, and also makes them awful friends when you're not feeling it, right? So we have this thing going on where we just come out of okay, I'm getting grounded. I see what my fears are. We're acknowledging them, to this sort of bubble inside that starts moving. And it's looking for fuel. You think about this, fire signs need a little bit, something to ignite them. Well, what ignites, if you know a Sag, if you have some Sag friends, what ignites them is the hope of a spiritual quest, or the hope of travel. I know for some it's translated into shopping, but for others it translates into this. They love those. Hey, Sages that love to tell stories, storytelling Sages. They love their stories. They're magnanimous stories. They're huge. I always think of Mo Abdelbaki and his storytelling, because even though he's a Taurus sun, he has a Sag rising, a lot of Sag, and he loves to tell his stories, and he loves that feeling of inspiration and mystery and excitement. And if you know Sages, that's that part that ignites. Now, where Sag is in your chart, that part needs to ignite, okay? And the sun is trying to help us do that. And the thing that makes us happy, in astrology particularly, this is just a theory of mine, the thing that makes us happy is that we pursue in the direction that the current is going. That we look to make things happen based on the tools that are available to us. You don't have to be happy in a Sag time period. In fact, many people aren't. You don't have to always be in pursuit of something. You don't have to be scared when it's Scorpio time, or always looking deep. But if you do, if you use what you know is going on in the cycle to then go in that direction, oh my God, the rewards. That's the thing about understanding astrology, but more than that, you don't have to be an astrologer to know this. It's understanding your sort of life in general, your life. I just saw there's an animated video that goes around, and it sounds like Alan Watts is the actual voice. It's ironic they don't give any clue who it is. I'll leave a link for you, but the one that, and I put it to the members, I let you all see one once. It's just, they show animations, but this very, I think he's British voice, talking about life and talking about the mysteries of life. And this one recent one that I saw was basically saying, you will be forgotten. Doesn't that sound awful? You will be forgotten. It may take a couple generations, but eventually you will be forgotten. People will no longer know you. People won't remember what was going on. A new generation of people with a new set of problems. Da, 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 da. It's a way of taking us global. And I thought, what a perfect message in this Sagittarian time period to remember it's minuscule. The things I'm worried about now, it isn't going to matter. It doesn't matter. In this moment in time, it might matter to me. It might matter to a couple of you. But in general, the things that I'm ruminating about, that I'm biting my nails over, clutching my pearls over, isn't going to matter. Doesn't go anywhere. It's me worried about what somebody thinks, or me worried about whatever it might be. And there's this other thought, and I think this is the important time in the Sag period that we bring this stuff forward, is finding again the so whatness of our life. Listen, if it is all going to be over, all the money amassed, all the fame amassed, everything, if it's all going to end at some point, I mean, what? And that's what I think is the most important thing we remember. What it leaves us with is, why not then opt for a little happiness right now? Why not be as happy as you can be right now? Not the fantasy of happy, what happy you think it is, but this moment of like, gratitude. I have hot water. I have coffee. I have delicious coffee. This is the hope of Sagittarius. And the difference between Sag and Gemini, because the polarities do mean something, the difference between the two of them is that Sagittarian has fire. And fire means inspiration, and inspiration means hope, and hope can mean a spiritual connection. Like, the fire signs tend to have this real innate understanding of spirituality. You know, water signs have this innate understanding of emotion, of feeling. They have an innate ability to move that stuff. It's magical when you see them do it. It's confounding when you don't understand it and you're mad at somebody and they're like moving this emotional energy. They're like, fine, doesn't matter, blah, 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 right? Fire signs have this amazing ability to lift up, okay? To kind of move that energy upward. Every element has its gift. This is fire sign's gift, is to bring the element of true belief, of spirituality, of hope, okay? Transformation. All of the big biblical stories had something to do with fire when there was a miracle. Moses in a burning bush, the Pentecost where the Holy Spirit came in flames on their head, right? I don't know a lot of them, but you hear a lot, and it has to do with fire. It has to do with inspiration. We're in that now. We're in that now. The tools available to you are the sun, Mars, Venus in the fiery realm, and today, Aries moon, the Aries, which is going to go void, of course, for several hours, about 10 o'clock in the morning Pacific time, Pacific time, until 7 at night. So big void, of course, moon energy. I like to say that I was on an astrologer's website today, and they were like, don't shop between the hours of 9 or 10 and 7. And I was like, that's so cute. I mean, we love those warnings, but what if you shopped and you found the deal of a century because it was sort of like in that Twilight Zone energy? So don't make everything a patent rule. Okay, that's that. Let me see how you all are doing. Oh, okay. So you guys are anticipating some heavy weather stuff. So stay safe. Okay, so hey, okay, who is that? Junior Steve King. What's up? How I miss your crown videos. Oh, thank you for coming. I know. I miss them too. I miss them too. And okay, thank you so much. So see you guys, because that monitor's out. Let me see if my mouse will work. I can bring it home a little bit. Are you going to work? Are you going to work? Isn't that? Oh, it is. It's going to work. I can plug it in. We can get back to normal. Hang on. It maybe just died. I don't know what the hell. All right. Okay, now I'll feel a little less fragmented, you guys. Thank you for your patience. There, it just popped right back in where everything's supposed to be. Okay, good. So you guys, that's funny. Yeah, I did my gaming videos and I quit doing them because YouTube started coming after me, right? And YouTube is being very strict about it, which is fine. They're protecting kids, but if they decide that they need to review what I'm doing, they'll close everything down, this included, and I couldn't afford that. I was very nervous about it. They already did. Even now that I've closed it, they already sent me the threat of 2 strikes against videos that are sitting there that I maybe overlooked making them private. But they're very touchy, and they have AI doing a lot of it, so I don't mess with it. I just closed it all down, but I miss it too. I miss playing with you guys. Okay. Now I can see what y'all are saying. Erica, I love Chiron. I play Chiron Gong. Yes, she does the Gong baths, right, Erica? And sound. Erica is into sound healing. If you haven't talked to Erica, she is available over at one2listen.com. All of these people are. Hey, Kaylin, welcome. And then Jennifer, what are you saying? Chiron in my first house. Yeah, so Chiron, you guys, that's the the bridge between Saturn and Uranus. The Chiron guy, which is the mythological centaur that I talked about that fell on Hercules' arrow, he's sort of the symbol of Sag in general. And I want to talk to you about the Sag wound. We talk a lot about Sagittarius being the inspiration, right? And the quest for fire and the quest for hope and inspiration and travel and learning and knowledge. And that's the difference between Sag and Gemini. Gemini, they'll talk to anybody. They want the connection. They want to be connected to you. You're interested in the etymology of insects. you talk to Geminis, will figure out a way to make that connection with you. Sagittarius don't want to be bothered with the insignificant. To them, they want it to mean something. They need that fire energy, and that inherently is the difference. They both connect. They both love to talk. They both love to express their ideas. Sag loves it when the idea moves into something bigger, and Gemini loves when the idea moves them closer to the other person. So neither one's better. We can think one's better, but they're not. They just have different motives. So here's the hard part of Sag, because every sign has their wound, and because we're in the Sag period, we're carrying the wound of that, which you all brought up Chiron several times. Let's talk about this wound. Wherever Sag is in your chart can be the wound. Now, the wound is remember the Chiron was half human, half God, half mortal. And when he fell on Hercules' arrow, poison arrow that was designed to kill fatally creatures like him, he couldn't die because he was half immortal. And so he was in misery. This Chiron creature and he was a healer, and he was miserable, but he couldn't die. And he knew that he's never going to be out of pain because he can't die. He's immortal. So he said a prayer to Zeus that he release Prometheus, the Aquarian, who tried to get fire to the humans. And Zeus says, you're punished with your liver eaten out every day for the rest of eternity. Chiron pleaded with Zeus, since he is already going to suffer like this for all eternity, will you please take me and release Prometheus? Very touching request. Now, that's very important to the story of Sagittarius. All Sages carry some kind of wound, whether it's a wound that they're half mortal, when the other half, it's like being born a celebrity, but you're half celebrity, right? It's sort of like, oh, I'm royalty, but the other part of me was like a peasant. And so they know that, so you're only going to get so far. That's sort of the energy. And Sag carries the sadness of that in them. And what you'll see in real Sagittarian people, in the sun signs of Sagittarians, you will see, and moons and risings, you'll see this sort of feeling that there's an albatross around their neck. There's something that weights them down that can't be removed, that's painful, that's outside of the norm of who they are. that is what prevents them from moving ahead. Now, if you know Sages, if you talk to them, they'll often cite what it is, and it's always out here. Like and no offense, Sag, everybody has a wound, and we talk about all wounds equally, the equal wound opportunity show. But your wound is that you'll have a blame out here for what it is that prevents you from getting what it is you want in life. And if you know Sagittarians, they don't want it to look like they failed, right? It's not like, and this is the shadow of Sag, so I'm just going to be really honest with you. The shadow is they don't want to take responsibility for it, right? They're Sages. They're mutable. They want to leap and have fun and do the fire fun thing. Thank you. Oh, God bless you. Thank you. That's very sweet. And I'm sorry they're popping up. I know some of you don't want that, and I apologize for that. I thought I fixed it. Anyway, thank you. So the Sages, you'll talk to them and you'll see what they'll say is like, it's my husband, it's my wife, it's my child, it's my circumstance, it's racism, it's inherent this, it's that, it's this, blah, 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 blah. And they have this list of things that they blame. That's the shadow, okay? And wherever you have Sag in your chart, let's say it's your second house of money, or your third house of family, familial relationship, or the fourth house of home, whatever it is, there's areas in there when they mess up that you don't like, and you feel wounded by, you feel hurt by, you feel betrayed by. So imagine that you're a Sag, you're a child of Zeus, okay? And thank you again, you guys. It's very sweet. You're sharing memberships. You're joining the membership. Thank you so very much. I'm very humbled by that. But you imagine that you are wherever it is that it exists in your chart, and you have this thing that's like painful, and you don't blame yourself for it. You might blame yourself. You might feel essentially like that's your wounded. But imagine you're born half mortal, half God. You live on Mount Olympus sometimes, and then you have to go take out the trash. That's the exact metaphor for why it's painful to be a Sag. That right there. Imagine you're born into royalty, but you have to go visit your family that lives in the one-room shack in the ghetto because they're your people, and you got to own it. Okay, and you take your limousine, it doesn't mean anything to them. You take your new Gucci purse, it doesn't mean anything to them because they have a different reality. They can't celebrate you in that way. It's painful. Now, those are extreme examples, but yours might be personal and subtle. It might be that, like mine was, I felt like I was really smart as a kid and nobody saw it. Like all my relatives got encouraged to go to med school and to do something big with their lives. And, I'm an astrologer. I don't know. I love what I do. I'm so grateful for it. I feel like it gave me a window into something that nobody else can see. And they make fun of me. They do. I was not the golden child of the family, of the extended family, the big extended family. But one person, my grandmother, saw me and never, ever let her love of me go away. And that was like my Sagittarian story of that was what I cling to. And her spirituality and her love and her faith and her unconditional love was, I think, saved me. It's what I tap into. That's the story. Because what was the other thing? It was like, he's gay, he's ridiculous, he's into that stupid shit his mother's into or whatever, right? And it was like, oh my God, right? And I loved it because it was who I was. It was my identity. But it was also like, I kept seeing that as the reason. Like, I took my dad's birthday. I took his harem away. Okay, so I'm playing out for you the exaggerated version of the Sagittarian wound that exists in my head and that's what we can do, right? I'm so in love with my life. And when I'm having a moment where it's like it's tough or I wish I could have that's where I go. And I know that's the wound. I know that's it. And then you add Chiron to the mix and we can really uncover wounds. That's the beauty of John. Those of you that have seen John and taken advantage of the sale that members were having with John, I first want to thank you for that. Absolutely. But that's his gift, is often finding that little wound that lays dormant and sort of exposing it and giving it some light. I'm very blessed to know him as well. Now, this full moon is Sag Gemini. It's that axis. So we have this thing. We still have the wound, but now we have to deal with Gemini. What is a Gemini wound? I mean, because we got to look. The reason we look at wounds is because these are mutable signs, meaning that they're the signs that come at the end of a season. So Sag is at the end of fall, right? And Capricorn's going to bring in winter. So literally on the first day of winter is the first day of Capricorn, for those of you that didn't know that. So you have Sag, Gemini, mutable. They're the ones that prepare us for the shift between the seasons. They have a duality. What's the duality of Gemini? What's the thing about Gemini? It's the cutoff of the emotional body. Gemini's thing is, if I can stay up here and be light and connect with you, I don't have to deal with this thing down here. Okay. But this thing down here, the other twin, that thing gets its time and will take its time. And if we don't consciously give that time, if we don't bring light to the other twin, then what we're doing is basically stuffing down a part of us and projecting it out, and it bites us later. Okay. So what's the message of this full moon on Thursday? The full moon Thursday, I should give you the date. 3:14 p.m. on Thursday, this coming Thursday at 3:14 p.m. Pacific time, the moon and the sun will be exactly opposite each other. And then they will, at that moment, start their journey into the new moon cycle. It'll start losing light, blah, blah, blah. We release. Right now we're receiving. So what the message is for you, wherever Gemini is in your chart, is make sure that if it's not all about the up and high part, but it is about, like, what is it that makes you sad? Take a minute at some point this week. What is it that makes me insecure deeply? Like, what is the part that I don't like in myself, that I don't like to look at, so I can call somebody and distract myself from it? We can talk on the phone for hours because I'm not looking at that thing when I'm talking to you. I'm not looking at that thing when I'm reading. I'm not looking at that thing when I'm doing a radio show. But that thing is there. Now, for some of you, it's reversed. You're in that thing. You're depressed. You're not feeling good. You have fear all over the place. And you're ignoring the logical up higher mind that can take you out of it because you think I have to pay attention deeply to this thing. Let me see how y'all are doing. I just saw some flashing and I want to make sure. That is really interesting. I have realized that I need to... Oh, Kip's in the house. Hi, Kip. It's wonderful to see you. I've recently realized a need for legacy is something I leave behind that lasts. Is the ego unable to recognize the power of spiritual self and the performance of the self? Okay, I'll read that again, Kip. I know what you mean, but I know I botched it. I have recently realized that a need for legacy is something I leave behind that lasts. Is the ego's unable to recognize the power of the spiritual self? I get it. Like, why people want to leave a legacy, why they want to have children, why they'll carry my name, because they don't realize they're eternal in their own right. I know exactly what you're saying. Moon and Chiron, 2 degrees apart in Sag. Kip, welcome. It's so good to see you. Touch my heart. Kip and I go way back, you guys. Jim. Good morning, Mark and 1-2 peeps. I'm sorry I went up a little bit. Okay. Chiron and the moon, 2 degrees apart. Wow. Whenever you're born with the moon next to Chiron, there is a wound there that I picture that Chiron and it's in Sag, looking like the wound of like being left behind or feeling so special and feeling overlooked and feeling like nobody got it. Amazing, Erica, an amazing opportunity for healing and love. Lori says, I love the way your mind works. Your explanations are unique. Thanks, Lori. That's so sweet. And wow, being a Gemini, I had forgotten about the twin aspect. You tend to forget about that. Yeah, we want to forget about it. I think we struggle with both twins all the time. It can be a struggle within. It is a struggle within. Gemini is constantly trying to find that balance. You've got to remember, metaphorically, the heart chakra is the place where those energies meet, where there's no judgment. It's like, yeah, we have things like the Gemini mind is constantly evaluating and seeing what the connection to something is and then deciding if it's good or not and what they want. And in the heart is where they're like, it just is. The observer component to us, I can't overstate, because the observer has no judgment. It just knows what's going on. I know I have a part of me that gets hurt by people, by things, by events, by my past. Constant. I see it. The difference is seeing it and realizing it's a piece of me. It's that robotic part of me that's a recording that got stuck somewhere. I still give it love. I don't have to worship it. I don't have to think it has merit, but I can say it's me. It's what makes me me. And it is remembering. It is an opportunity to remember what happens when this is all over. What happens? I don't care about what happens when. I know it's going to end. I know it's going to end. Now, we can say, what makes me not afraid is I think there might be something on the other side. It doesn't matter. That's what makes you not afraid. That's what you tell yourself. But the fact is it ends at some point. And between then and now, what I want is an opportunity to experience some peace, some remembrance, some joy, some hope, and to give that back a little bit to a lot of the people that I meet. I want to say everyone I meet, but there's some people I want them to trip on something. I want some Schadenfreude so I can like laugh at somebody because I still have that part. So it's just a thing. And then as we get to the place where it's like, so it's not about like looking spiritual, or it's not about a scoreboard in the sky that you're now a good person officially. It's about what makes you feel good. And what I think makes us feel good sometimes is that we can be kind. I think kindness feels really good, and I think it lasts. I think it has a different kind of feel good than vengeance, because a lot of people would say vengeance feels great. I know people who wake up every day with the list of who they hate. I get it. I do that some days. I don't do it every day. Some days I wake up with, oh, God, they're in my head. Okay. Don't have to judge it. It's like, okay, I'm aware. And now what do we do today to move some of that energy? And this duality that's happening with this full moon on Thursday, you guys, I promise you, if we move in the flow of Sag, if we can actually get in the flow of this idea that there is a connection, a spiritual connection, a part of me that is bigger, that lives on Mount Olympus, and I still have to take out the trash. I still have bills due. We didn't get paid this week because of the holiday. So I'm like, to me, it's like, this is fumes. This is what it feels, whatever. I can have all that exist and still remember a very core thing that brings me some joy. It might be the joy that comes from the radio show. That definitely happens from you. The joy of remembering my grandmother loved me. I cry every time I talk about that because she was the world to me. And I see through the eyes of a lonely little kid what it's like when somebody looks at you with, I see you, it's okay. And I want to give that back. God, I want to give that back because I learned what it felt like to have that. I don't know. Not everybody's going to learn that. Not everybody's going to need that. Not everybody needs that lesson. I needed it. Some people just think their presence is all you need. Some people just think is let me walk in the room. That was good enough. I'm fine. Okay, that's your journey. Good. I don't care. So it's what serves you. And this axis, that's what I'm saying. As we approach this full moon, we've got the two big dualities. We've got Gemini with its two components, the twins. We've got Sag with its two components, the God and the mortal. Finding balance, finding a way to make it work. So here's some tips. This week, use gratitude. And I say this every week, but this week it matters. Use gratitude in a way you've never used it before. Not just like counting your personal blessings, but actually being something worth being included in a grateful thing. Like you being the reason for gratitude in somebody else's life. Or maybe healing an old thing that's you wake up every day with a wound and you finally like want to be done with it. Like you make the deal. Chiron made the deal with Zeus, please. And Zeus rewarded him. Zeus made him a constellation. Didn't have to feel the pain anymore. What's hurting you? Be that person that looks at you, looks at that part with some compassion. We see it. It's not bad that it hurts you. You're not being stupid. You're not stuck. You're not, whatever it is, the judgments you can remove. You can look directly at the part of you that is feeling scared, that is feeling hurt, and pull it in just a little. That alone is going to make mountains of difference for what happens the rest of the month. And well, for the rest of your life, but I want to bring it down to some pragmatic things we can do this week. So this week is about using SADS to its fullest, bringing some joy, number one, bringing some resolution, number two. See if you can release some of the old grievances. Doesn't matter who or what they are. It could be a politician. It could be a grandparent. It could be somebody that died years ago that hurt you. And remember what forgiveness is, please. Forgiveness isn't you being magnanimous and going, I release you. It's not that. It can be for you. I don't care. I don't judge people who do it that way. But what it really is you pulling in and remembering you cannot be hurt. It's a decision in you. We don't know what would have happened if I would have been encouraged by somebody to use my brain in a medical way. Who knows? I'd be a doctor right now hating astrology. Who knows? So I can't go there. There's no logic around it. I can really look at what I need to do to let go of the things that I think were like, I know the answer to the story if this hadn't happened. How many movies have we seen where they go back in time and say, don't mess with time, right? Don't mess with time. How many Terminators? We've all seen Terminator movies. You know he was supposed to go back in time. They kept going back in time to kill John Connor, right? Because he's the one that created Skynet and blah, blah, blah. It's like it all never works that way, right? I saw an interview. They said, now, everybody says they go back in time. If they could go back in time, they'd kill Hitler. But they're talking about, then you go and they show a little baby picture of Hitler, a cute little baby. Do you really think you'd pull that off? I don't know. I don't care. It's a fantasy. The idea is, see if you can release some of those pains and those wounds. See if you can simply remember that holding on to a wound is literally kind of a choice, okay? Like you have an identity associated with the hurt that happened. You have an identity there. Like I'm familiar with the pain of rejection of my family. I'm familiar with, like it's comforting for me to think I was like the black sheep. I have to admit it. If I can let that go, man, okay, new identity chances, right? That's what this full moon is saying. All right, we're going to check on you, and then we're going to check on putting some more planets in this chart. Okay, Terry says, oh, good morning. Good morning, Mark and family. A bit late, but happy to join the joy of Monday with Mark. Thank you so much, Keuma. Jupiter, the ruler of Sag, squares Chiron exact 3 times. Second exact aspect is December 21st. Terry's our resident, she's the fact checker. This means painful memories and emotions may feel larger than life. Oh, I love that. Showing up to be seen and released. Okay, you guys, we're getting some reinforcement for this aspect. It's Jupiter and Chiron are going to give us a chance to see where we are feeling those wounds. Now, don't ignore the wounds. They're big. They're absolutely bigger than life. But maybe have a little person show up. Here's my example. Okay, I'm gonna do the bigger screen. I want to show you this. This is those of you that know me. Wait a minute. Oh, good. It's still working. Good. So this is my finger explanation. This is you going, I'm hurt. This really hurts. No, I'm in pain. And this is the bigger you. Now, when the bigger you is going, I'm hurt, I'm in pain, and agreeing with it, there's just one big finger moving, right? But when the bigger you can come around and give a hug, not identify with the pain so much, but separate from it and see it's a separate part, you have an ability to change it. You have an ability to hold it. So in this cycle that we're in, especially with this Jupiter-Chiron connection that Terry just explained, we're going to maybe see some old wounds. This could be the Christmas where old wounds surface. And don't ever ignore them. But be able to separate enough to go, this part of me is really hurt still. If you can just do that little piece that separates just enough to say there's a part of me really hurt, and you could have all the right reasons to be hurt. There are victims in the world. There really are. There are people who get hurt and they didn't ask for it. No matter what your little metaphysical minds want to say, there are people who get randomly hurt and it's unfair. And if you think this world is fair, So take yourself out of this whole concept of who's a victim and what does it mean and did you create that? None of that. Hurt is hurt. And you have a chance this month and with this moon to sort of lighten it up a little bit, put it in a perspective where, yes, that hurt, it always will hurt. I will never loosen that hurt. That's fine, but it's not all of you. It's not the complete identity of who you are. And the reason we do it isn't so you'll go to heaven. The reason we do it is so you can have a life of some more joy. That's all. A little more happiness while you're here passing through. It's all about here, right? It's not about this thing. Let's do it for the good of the scoreboard. You know my thing with the scoreboard. When Damien Brinkley wrote Saved by the Light, he had 3 near-death experiences, and each one you do a review of your life. It's his voice taking him on the review. And he believed that's what changed him, because by the 3rd review, he wanted to feel better. Because he goes, you have to look at every embarrassing thing you ever did and sort of stand there with it. That's his experience. So for a while there, I told John, I'm going to go help everyone I know. I'm going to help old ladies cross the street because I need to look good in my review. And I had so much fun. I had so much fun being a brat about it because I wasn't serious. I was being a brat. Like, I need to look good in my review. Let me do this nice thing. It's got to look good. And it was all about the scoreboard. And it was fun. I was really exaggerating it for the purposes of fun and humor. But it is true. I know I've met a lot of people where that is true for them. Like, they think being good means going to heaven. And that's fine. That's fine if that's what it takes to have you be good. But let's do something other than just be good. Let's be happy. Okay? And I'm pretty sure happiness is the absence of pain, is the absence of wounds, is the absence of worry. Okay? And the less we have of those things, I think it elevates our ability to be happy. That's pretty much it. Who cares what you believe? Believe everything you want to believe. Don't care what I believe. I'm just saying, I think this one thing is probably true. To the degree that you're not in pain, to the degree that you're not sad, to the degree that you're not hurt, that degree you can be happy and happier. All right, we have 5 minutes. I'm going to go through the week and see how we're doing, see what you guys are up to. Let me make sure you're okay. Kip says the point of pain is to direct us to where the wound is, not so we can obsess over it, but to bring consciousness that heals. It's so true, Kip. That's so well put. We look to the pain. Owie, it hurts. Let me look. And then you bring some love to it. You attend to it. You don't plan the next victim who you want to hurt like that. You can do that. Right? There's no right way to deal with it, but there is a way that will give you more happiness than another way. And I think we want a little more happiness, right? That's what we got. Thank you, Kip. Miss you too, baby. I've already done my own brutal review. Thank you, Pamela. I know, right? It's like, I know. And it's like, how many reviews do I need to do? Because I was like, I'm ready for my review because it's all going to be a repeat. I mean, I've seen reruns is all it is. They're painful. The idea is painful. The idea that there's even more, when we're done here. It's like, no, can we just be in this place of, can we like make a decision to be okay and to be happy and to be at peace and to be hopeful? And the reason for the season, right? Whether you're religious or not, the reason for the season has a lot to do with compassion and love and forgiveness. Okay. It has to do with joy. It has to do with light. And for many of you, it's Jesus is the reason. If you take Jesus as the reason, you take the idea of what Jesus represented, which is compassion and love. It's all about that. It's all about this Sagittarian ideal. And even that story has a lot of pain in it. And so while we're here, it's like we know there's pain, we know there's joy, we know there it seems like an inordinate amount of one over the other. So we do what we can do to bring it into stillness, into happiness, into wholeness, into peace, right? And one of the ways we lock in that peace is we avoid evaluation. Try to avoid the evaluation. That's the judgy part. And I have Jupiter in Virgo. I have a mind that wants to evaluate everything. And I'm telling you, Lord help me. It's great. Okay, let me get some planets on the screen for us, okay? And then we'll get ready to have a great week and send you off in some information. Let me get the screen up here. Now that the mouse is working. Okay, and then I'll get the ability. There it is. Okay, now let's put some planets up. Okay, so keep an eye on the screen. We're going to bring Jupiter in, and Jupiter's going to show up somewhere down here on this chart. So, because I want to talk to you about Jupiter in Cancer. Jupiter, if these numbers are red, they're retrograde. They're meaning they're moving backwards, so these numbers are getting less. So Jupiter at 24 is now very close to Scorpio at 21, right? They're both water signs. That's all we care about. 21, 24, pretty close. Jupiter's moving toward the 21, okay? And the 21's moving toward Jupiter. So we're going to have this moment where these two are connected. And what does these two mean? It's Jupiter, the planet of expansion, of good fortune, of spirituality, of life, of hope, with Mercury, our thoughts. Yeah, we have a chance to be hopeful. I can't even imagine. Just teasing. Okay, now let me bring in Saturn. Top of the chart. See Saturn blinking there? Look what degree it is. 25, it's in a water sign. Where's Jupiter? 24, it's in a water sign. Where's Mercury? 21, it's in a water sign. So we have this stream of water with all this fire we talked about. We have this water happening in the sky along with Neptune. Neptune's always close to Saturn, but get this, Neptune is going to leave Pisces here. This is it for its journey into Pisces for our lifetime, pretty sure. I looked ahead and I don't see Neptune making any dip back. I'll make sure, but I think this is it. So it's going to be in Aries way up for the rest of my life. Let's see. January, it's in Pisces. It goes into Aries at the end of January, and I don't think it ever goes back. Let me make sure. Nope, that's it. So enjoy Neptune in Pisces while you can. It's spirituality. It's the drug culture. It was definitely Ozempic. But enjoy Neptune as the last part of this grand water trine. There's not really anything you can do. Just enjoy the fact that it's soon you got to live through a Neptune in Pisces. Neptune rules Pisces. It's the dream. This is where AI came into play. And Pluto in Aquarius is where AI comes into play too. But they talk about AI hallucinating and like thinking on its own and coming up with things. This is sort of it. All right, and then let's real quickly bring in everybody else. We got Uranus here at the very last degrees of Taurus, but moving backwards. So we still have Uranus. We had that Venus-Uranus thing. I wonder if you guys had any arguments over the holidays. Like, hopefully your Thanksgiving was peaceful. I think everybody anticipated Thanksgiving could be volatile, so they were really good. I hope you did have a really beautiful Thanksgiving, by the way. Now, Pluto and Uranus, these two, they were trying. They're still kind of trying because this is really 1 degree of Gemini, Uranus, and this is 1 degree of Aquarius. So whatever, don't worry about that. I'll take care of the details of that. And here's our little Chiron. Chiron's in Aries at 23. The moon's hitting it today. So that's why we're talking about wounds, I can promise you. Okay, let me bring myself back on the screen. We'll wrap it up. Lenny says she loves the landmark education phrase, would you rather be right or would you rather be happy? Oh, yeah, I know. That is so good. It was like the question they'd ask all the time, like, you want to be right or you want to be happy? And I remember having friends going, okay, be right. You can be right. And I never really got it. And now I think I do get it a lot better. Practicing forgiving others and loving ourselves while forgiving ourselves and loving others. Chop wood, carry water daily. Wow, that's big. Yes, and remember what forgiveness is. Forgiveness isn't I took all this pain and I'm letting it go. I'll forgive you. It's I can't be hurt here. I can't. There's a part of me eternal. It's loving. And a lot of our hurt is built in our mind. You could hurt me. I could take what you have to say painfully. Excuse me. So you want to make sure to not turn this into virtue signaling. Turn it into a personal thing inside that you have a way to look at life where you don't have to interpret things as painful. You can let them go. You can let them go. And the other person may never know that you did that. It's not important. It's important that you quit carrying the grievance. Okay. I think we're good. You guys are amazing. This week, okay, Thursday is the full moon. All void of course moon today. Big void of course moon till 7 o'clock at night. You know, I hate those. I don't know. But they have been better. These long ones have been better for me. So I'm learning how to love them the way I do truly love Mercury retrogrades. You guys, thank you so much. Like and subscribe, all that stuff. If you want to be a member, join. We're going to do video conferencing. I'm going to have a video talk with you. Oh, can I show you my cup? This is a cup I'm designing. Yep, here it is. Hold on. Okay. So this is an example. I'm creating phrases for all, but this is a can cup. So in other words, it's the shape of a cola can, but it's all glass. And I have beer ones. And thanks to Teresa and Carol for inspiring me to get a line of glassware. So that's on astrologyforlife.com. I mean, listen, I'm not going to be rich on it, I promise. You do not have to shop there. It's just I want you to know about it because it is fun for me and it is sort of like the hobby I'm doing on the side. So if it's Astrology for Life, FORLIFE, Astrology for Life. Just look at some of what I'm creating. And if you have ideas, you want me to find something to create, we'll do it. They're print on demand things. I'm taking my time finding the art, really working hard to get, I even have ChatGPT helping me come up with slogans and then we edit them and we fight and it's really fun. So this is a little side thing for me that I'm really enjoying. And membership is most important to me where we're going to do video debates and I'm going to have people to come on and guests to talk. I want you guys to come on with me. I'm going to get the video thing down. So after it'll be probably January 1st, we'll get through the holiday season, but we'll have split screens. We'll talk, we'll get into astrology, get your questions answered. I don't know. I care a lot about you and I appreciate you so much. I'm not going to take a break for the holiday season, so I'll be doing these throughout the season. And if I do take a break or you need to change the day, I'll email you and let you know. Okay? You guys are the best. Thank you so much. Kat is coming up. I'll put her address on the screen. And please stay tuned. It's at Kat Nicholson 12. Thank you, guys. Have a beautiful full moon. All right. That's a real turkey, too. And that's just one. They're gigantic. They're scary as hell. Bye, you guys.